We think of leaders as powerful titans, but sometimes their biggest threat is just Mother Nature. From killer bunnies to clumsy pigs, here are 10 animals that humiliated historical leaders. Number 10. William the Conqueror. In 1087, the formidable first Norman king of England, William the Conqueror, was campaigning in France against King Philip I. He had just set the town of Mantes ablaze. As he rode through the smoking ruins, his horse stepped on hot embers, or perhaps reared suddenly, causing the heavy-set king to be thrown violently forward against the high iron pommel of his saddle. The impact ruptured his internal organs, leading to a slow, agonizing death from peritonitis over several weeks. The humiliation didn't end with the fall. During his funeral, his body had become so bloated and swollen that it wouldn't fit into the stone sarcophagus prepared for him. When the undertakers tried to force the body in, the corpse actually burst, releasing a stench so foul that the mourners ran out of the church, leaving the conqueror to be buried in haste. Number 9. Nikola Zrinski. Nikola VII Zrinski was a Croatian-Hungarian national hero, a brilliant poet, and a military scourge of the Ottoman Empire. In 1664, after a successful military campaign, he went hunting in the Krshenek forest. While separated from his group to chase a wounded boar, the animal turned the tables. It attacked him with such ferocity that it severed his jugular vein, killing him almost instantly. This death was so sudden and convenient for his political rivals that almost no one believed it was just an animal attack. The boar became the center of massive conspiracy theories. Many believed the animal was merely a cover story for an assassination orchestrated by the Habsburg court in Vienna, who feared Zrinski's growing power and influence. Number 8. Ragnar Lothbrok. While historians debate the exact reality of Ragnar Lothbrok, Norse sagas paint a vivid picture of his demise. After terrorizing the coasts of England and France, the legendary Viking king was captured by his arch-rival, King Ea of Northumbria. Instead of a clean execution or a warrior's death in combat, Ea threw Ragnar into a pit filled with venomous snakes. As the venom took hold, Ragnar supposedly uttered the famous line, "How the little piglets would grunt if they knew how the old boar suffers," prophesying the revenge his sons would take. He was right. His death was the catalyst for the arrival of the Great Heathen Army, led by Ivar the Boneless, which invaded England, captured King Ea, and executed him with the brutal Blood Eagle. Number 7. Surinder Singh Baiwa. In modern India, the monkey menace is a serious civic issue, but in 2007, it reached a tragic peak involving a high-ranking official. Surinder Singh Bajwa, the deputy mayor of Delhi, was on the first-floor terrace of his home reading the morning paper when a gang of wild rhesus macaques attacked him. These monkeys can be incredibly aggressive when they sense territory violations. In a desperate attempt to fight them off and escape the biting swarm, Bajwa fell from the terrace balcony. He sustained severe head injuries and died in the hospital shortly after. The incident shocked the city and forced a government-wide re-evaluation of how to handle the primate population in the capital, proving that urban wildlife is a legitimate threat to leadership. Number 6. The English army at Patay. This is a rare case where an animal humiliated an entire army. In 1429, during the latter stages of the 100 Years' War, the English longbowmen, renowned for their discipline, were lying in ambush near Patay. They were perfectly concealed. Suddenly, a lone stag, spooked by the movement, bolted across the open field in front of the English lines. The soldiers, forgetting their discipline in the excitement of a potential hunt, instinctively let out a loud cheer. This noise alerted the French scouts. The French cavalry immediately charged the revealed position before the English could set up their defensive spikes. The result was a massacre, the English Agincourt, in reverse, which turned the tide of the war. Number 5. Emperor Justinian. For over 50 years in the 6th century, the shipping lanes of Constantinople were held hostage not by a pirate fleet, but by a single sperm whale named Porphyrios. The whale would ram and sink merchant vessels and imperial warships alike. Emperor Justinian the Great, who had reconquered Rome and built the Hagia Sophia, was powerless against this beast. Porphyrios became a folk legend and a source of deep embarrassment for the Byzantine Navy. The whale was finally defeated not by strategy, but by accident. While chasing dolphins too close to shore, it beached itself in the mud. Locals rushed out with axes and ropes to finally kill the Emperor of the Sea, ending a reign of terror that lasted half a century. Number 4. Crown Prince Philip of France. In 1131, the future of the Capetian dynasty looked secure, with King Louis VI's beloved eldest son, Philip, already crowned as co-king. While riding through the crowded streets of Paris near the Seine, a domestic pig suddenly darted out from a dung heap directly into the path of Philip's horse. The horse tripped, flipping forward and crushing the prince. He died the next day. This absurd death changed European history. The crown passed to his pious, unready younger brother, Louis VII. Louis VII's disastrous marriage to Eleanor of Aquitaine eventually led to her marrying the King of England instead, sparking the territorial conflicts that would plague France and England for hundreds of years, all because of a loose pig. Number 3. Jimmy Carter. In April 1979, President Jimmy Carter was fishing alone in a flat-bottom boat in Plains, Georgia. A swamp rabbit, agitated and swimming in the water, turned toward Carter's boat, hissing and gnashing its teeth. Carter used his paddle to splash water at the animal to force it away. When Carter told the story to his staff, they didn't believe him until a White House photographer produced a picture of the event. The media went wild. Political opponents seized on the imagery, framing it as a symbol of Carter's weak and besieged presidency. The killer rabbit incident became a lasting pop culture joke that haunted his re-election campaign. Number 2. King Alexander of Greece. In 1920, young King Alexander was walking his German Shepherd in the Titoi Palace gardens. The dog attacked a Barbary macaque kept by the vinekeeper. When the king tried to separate the animals, a second monkey attacked him, biting him deeply on the leg and torso. The wounds were not cleaned properly and became infected. Sepsis set in, and the king died 3 weeks later at the age of 27. Winston Churchill later wrote, "It is perhaps no exaggeration to remark that 250,000 persons died of this monkey's bite." The king's death led to the return of his exiled father, Constantine I, whose poor military leadership is widely blamed for Greece's catastrophic defeat in the Greco-Turkish War. Number 1. Napoleon Bonaparte. The greatest humiliation belongs to the man who conquered Europe. In 1807, to celebrate the treaties of Tilsit, Napoleon's chief of staff, Alexandre Berthier, organized a rabbit hunt. He bought nearly 3,000 rabbits. However, Berthier made a critical error. He bought tame farm rabbits, not wild hares. When the cages were open, the rabbits didn't scatter. They associated humans with food. Thousands of hungry bunnies swarmed the emperor. They climbed his legs, hopped into his jacket, and nipped at his buttons. Napoleon's generals tried to beat them back with riding crops, but the horde was relentless. The Emperor of the French was forced to flee to his carriage, slamming the door shut as rabbits reportedly climbed up the wheels to get at him. It was the only military defeat Napoleon ever suffered where he retreated without firing a shot. It proves that no one is safe from a freak accident. Which story was the craziest? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more strange history.